Today we're checking out this USB-C docking station for Windows computers made by TobenOne, who sent this out to me free of charge so that I could check it out. So we're going to do an unboxing, go over its features, and see what it looks like. So we get a quick start guide, and right in front of it we have some accessories. Actually, it's the Thunderbolt cable. And this is very high quality, very common in TobenOne devices. They include this braided high quality Thunderbolt cable that looks really good and feels actually high quality. So we have the dock right here, and it is actually pretty hefty, and I like that because this is meant to hold your laptop in a clamshell position. And let's see, it's still pretty heavy, so I'm guessing it comes with a very powerful brick, charging brick. So let's see if we can get it out. So yeah, we got the charging brick and the extension for the charging brick. So let me put this away. So this should be pretty straightforward, just AC extension. And let's check out the specs on this brick. Now this is a 150 watt power adapter, so it should be able to power your laptop pretty well as any device that you connect into this docking station. So without any further ado, let's take it out of this little bag that it comes wrapped in. And this again is a very nice, it is made of metal. However, the part where you set your laptop in is kind of a little bit hard, but it does feel rubberized. So I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be scratching your computer at all. Now it is a little bit of a dust magnet from what I can tell. Again, this is kind of typical in silicone or rubber types of materials. So yeah, it's getting a little bit annoying, but it's what it is. It's meant to have your laptop in a resting position right here. So let's see the ports in front. We have a headset port, a micro SD and SD card reader. We have a 10 gigabit and 20 watt USB-C port, another 10 gigabit port for data mostly, another 10 gigabit USB-A port, and a power on switch, which is digital. We also have an LED indicator right here to let you know that the device is on. Now we have nothing up top. In the bottom, only a little bit more rubber fit to further increase the stability. Now in the back, we do have a lot of connectivity. There's actually a lot of connectivity for a device this small. I'm impressed. Right, so we have a 2.5 gigahertz Ethernet cable. Is this another headset? Yeah, we do have two headset jacks. So I'm going to go over the specs in just a second to know whether or not we can use both of them. I don't think that we can, but we'll see. And we have the input for the DC power adapter. We got 4 USB-A ports, 2 of them which are 3.0, so this means that they are 5 gigabit, and 2 which are 2.0, which are meant for your receivers for your mouse and keyboards. So in the bottom we have the host. So this means that this is where we connect the included Thunderbolt cable to your Thunderbolt 4 port in your laptop. We have an additional USB-C port. Again, this is 3.0, so it supports up to 5 gigabits. And we have 2 HDMI ports as well as a display port. So a lot of connectivity for a device as this small, and this should make your computer really look nice in a setup like this. So let's go over some of the ports because I'm sure that you will have some questions. Now, regarding the host adapter, the host connector here, this supports up to 100 watts of charging, so your computer will definitely have all the power required. Now, again, like I mentioned, this is a 3.0 USB-C port, so only 5 gigabits. And we're going to go over the display connectivity that we have. So again, this is meant to have your laptop closed in and resting on the dock as such. So you can have up to 3 displays running at any given moment. So we're going to go over the configuration, all the possible configurations that we have with these ports. Now, if you only connect one display and your Windows computer supports DP 1.4 and also supports DSC, then whichever port that you decide to use for display will support up to 8K at 30 Hz. If you decide to connect two monitors, then you can use either the HDMI 1 plus the DisplayPort, the HDMI 2 plus the DisplayPort, or HDMI plus HDMI 2. Regardless, you will have up to 4K 60 Hz on both displays. Now, if you decide to connect all three monitors, then you will have 4K 60 on HDMI 1, 4K 30 on HDMI 2, and 4K 60 on the DisplayPort. Now, if your Windows computer supports DP 1.4 but does not support DSC, then you will have, with a single monitor, still 8K up to 30 Hz regardless of which port you use. Now, if you connect two displays, you can use HDMI 1 plus DP, in which case you will have 1080p 60 on HDMI 1 and 4K 30 on the DisplayPort. If you use HDMI 2 plus DisplayPort, you will have 1080p 60 on HDMI 2 and 4K 30 on the DisplayPort. And if you use both HDMI 1 and HDMI 2, then you will have on HDMI 1 4K 30 and on HDMI 2 1080p 60. And if you decide to go for all three monitors, then you will have 1080p 60 on all three ports. Finally, if your Windows computer supports up to DP 1.2, then with a single monitor using either display, you will have up to 4K 30. And if you connect two monitors, then you can have either HDMI 1 plus DisplayPort, HDMI 2 plus DisplayPort, or both HDMIs. And whatever combination you use, both displays will have up to 1080p 60. Now, remember I mentioned that we have two headset jacks, one in the back and one in the front. And I was wondering whether we could choose both of them or what would happen if you connect devices to both of them. So as it turns out, you can have, for example, your headset in this one and your speakers in this one, or vice versa. It really doesn't matter. And both will be recognized by your Windows computer, and they will be seen as two separate audio devices, meaning that in your Windows system, you will have to choose whether you want to listen to the one on the back or the one in the front. So that's pretty cool because you can have, like I said, one using your headset and another one using your speakers, and you can select in your Windows system whether you want to listen through the speakers or your headset, regardless of which one you connect in either port. And finally, in case you're interested, to turn on the dock, you press once, and to turn it off, you press and hold for a couple of seconds. So I really like that this is a very full-featured docking station, and again, you will have to sacrifice the internal screen of your laptop, but you still have three displays to work with. So very, very productivity oriented, especially with all the ports that you have, and considering that you have several of them that are actually high-speed 10 gigabit ports each. So very versatile, very nice looking, very slick, and very premium feeling. So I really like this docking station, and I think that you will like it too. So I really hope that this video was helpful. Hope to see you in the next one, and until then, may God bless you all.